saying he was doing a lot of stuff, and they thought maybe it was somebody's jealous boyfriend or husband.
Bob
What
Crane.
was Bob Crane? You
Yep.
remember him, Austin?
Yep.
Vaguely, but he was a little before my time, so you and Roger are more likely to remember him in a lot more detail than me.
Still unsolved. They never found out who killed him. Like they beat him to death with a camera, I think, or something.
Yep.
It was terrible, and it just always creeped me out because I'm like, well, there's more. There's somebody knows something, but they never did find out. See, that's a long Hollywood. That was probably what in the 70s, Roger, maybe 80s.
That one
Probably
was
70s.
that one was in the 80s, and it actually happened in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I actually lived. And
There's a lot of on in Arizona. It seemed like
they finally figured out how that happened. The guy was sleeping with a woman, and what happened was is freaking he was actually going back and forth and having sex with her in L.A. I think it was, and the woman's husband drove all the way from L.A. to freaking Arizona, shot him, and then drove all the way back. And he was supposed to be leaving on a business trip by airplane, so he just bought the ticket. And while he was supposed to be away, he drove to Arizona, shot him, and then drove back, and nobody could figure out who the murderer was. It was pretty interesting how he pulled that off. And
so did they find
yeah.
it then? Because I didn't think they ever solved it.
Yeah, it was I ended up hearing about it back in maybe the 90s, early 2000s. It's actually a pretty interesting story. The way.
Well, you know, another one that reminds me a little bit of it is Bob Saget. That was weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good story right there.
And they say there's no way that, like, you know, he was found basically beaten to death.
They found him. His skull was crushed where his skull was crushed where his eyes were coming out of the sockets, and they said he just fell and hit a bedpost.
Yeah, and then his family and like acting like, well, we really don't need any further investigation. I think at first they were, and then all of a sudden they were like, well, yeah.
They refused to have his body exhumed.
But at first they were wanting to. That's why it was going to be exhumed. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, well, you know, I guess it's possible that, you know, that he could have hurt himself that badly falling after talking to the coroner or something. And there's no way. There's a lot of people that said that didn't happen the way it did. But I don't know.
Somebody got to them.
Huh?
Somebody got to them. Because they were wanting his body exhumed because it was obviously suspicious, and then all of a sudden they backtrack.
I wonder what he was into. You know, it's something.
What?
He was hanging out them Diddy freak off parties with the Olsen girls. That's probably what it was.
See,
he could have been. Was that what he was on? What was he on? Was he on that show?
Yeah, he was on Family Ties or Family. What was it?
Full House.
Full House. Yeah, Full House.
With the Olsen twins when they were little girls.
They're creepy now. They're creepy.
No.
Yeah, they're like alien humanoids. They'll probably be on Everything About Aliens with me and Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you want that episode that I had to stream for Jaffe last night was pretty strange because it was about. Have you ever heard of Leonard Cohen?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
sounds familiar.
Leonard Cohen. He was a freaking writer and writer and art musician and everything. He's from Canada. He played with Paul Simon.
Oh, okay.
And Bob Dylan and all those guys.
Recognize it, but
well, he had this interesting woman on there freaking last night. She was named Ann Diamond, and she claims that she was a part of, or she was a victim of MK Ultra, and that freaking she ended up having to be like a sex slave to Leonard Cohen and stuff of that nature. And she starts going through all this stuff, man, and it's like with what we're talking about right now, man, it fits in right exactly with what she was saying. It was really
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You know,
Yeah.
she was
Wow.
talking about how she had a relationship with Leonard Cohen and how freaking people like Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones was involved in a lot of this stuff. The Beatles. She's talking about
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
So the freak offs aren't really a new thing. This has been going on since the '60s at least.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting.
This kind of human trafficking, the freak offs of these people.
Wow.
Well, I know he had Cohen. He had this really weird relationship with other musicians, and like he was a stranger person. You know what I mean? Like he always did these off colored songs that were dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I've heard some of them.
yeah, and he had no problems with Satanism and stuff like that whatsoever. And people have also made mentions that he was also a part of what do they call that, Scientology.
Oh yeah, yeah. They talk about that now with what's his name? Oh gosh. He looks like he's
Tom
about
Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. But I don't know about, I mean, Tom Cruise actually seems kind of normal. He likes to do his own stunts and stuff, but he seems okay. Yeah.
He's had his episodes.
Yeah, being married to Nicole Kidman, she's a creepy one.
That didn't help anything.
Well,
Yeah, now she's married to Keith Urban, and he's went off the deep end too.
there's
He's a nutcase now.
yeah, and even like with that, what's her name? I forgot her name. She was young back in the '90s, and she ended up marrying and having babies. And everybody that I've referenced to try to figure out how old she was says that she was like 19 years old. But I remember back when it took place, everybody said that she got in a relationship with this guy when she was in her teens. And I mean, I know like when it comes to country musicians, I think Loretta Lynn was the last one I heard of that was under 18 when she got married.
Oh.
But that one kind of was strange too. I wish I could remember her name, but I think it was like Shania Twain or one of those women. That she was real young when she ended up getting married, and everybody swears she was supposed to be 18 or 19 years old. But I remember back then when that happened because I just moved to Kansas City, and it was.
Well, well, I don't. Jerry Lewis, remember he married that like his cousin that was 13, and that was creepy because she looked like a little girl. And that
Yeah,
kind of,
Jerry Lee Lewis.
he was so creepy. He's dead now, isn't he? Finally, I mean, it took him forever to die, but.
And they thought he sold the planes to Jim Croce and
No,
Leonard Skinner. They called him the killer.
Yeah, because those planes
And
all crashed.
I think he sold the plane that to the airport that Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and Richie Valens all died on too.
Wow. I know. Yeah. He was.
Yeah, they called him the killer. He was affiliated, with, I think, with all three of those plane crashes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Pretty,
Huh.
that is pretty bad. I mean, somebody's got some bad luck. Whenever you have to get on an airplane and he's there, you need to turn around and walk away.
Or you won't
Yeah, I
buy
wouldn't be getting on that plane.
you won't buy a plane from him. You know, you do see people sometimes in their lives. There's just like something keeps happening to them all the time. It's one thing like that. Like they'll have a lot of car wrecks, or they'll get hit by cars. My aunt was like that. She got hit by. I don't know why she was out walking, but she got hit by a couple cars back in the day, and then her brother, was it her brother, Austin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, was going, there was used to be two bars in Ohio. They were you had to go across the street, but people would run across the street to get between the two, which is not a good idea anyway, you know, because you're drunk and you're
Especially
going
not when you're drunk already.
now. Listen to the name of these bars: Rusty Nail and the King of Clubs. So I don't know what they were called back then, but her brother was going from one to the other, and a car came through there and killed her brother. So that whole family, I mean, it was like she'd been hit by a car twice. It messed up her leg. She had all kinds of pins and stuff in her leg and her knee, um, um and then her brother got killed. So it's weird. You know, I'm like, what's going on with this family that we have, like, you know, that happening?
Like a family curse.
Yeah. I mean, my mom, you know, that was my mom's brother. She didn't have anything like that happen, but I don't know if they were wandering around on the road too much or what. And back
Yeah.
then, there wasn't a lot of traffic, because I don't know when he passed away, but it's been a long time ago, you know.
1953.
Yeah. You know, people weren't getting killed on the pedestrians like they are nowadays. My God.
Yeah, it's a lot higher now.
Yeah, well, people are driving insane. People are insane. They're on.
Maybe it's the psyop.
Well, I
What?
mean, I if we go over what we kind of went over in the last time we had this conversation too, you look at like Ellen, okay, and that one blonde-headed girl she was dating, okay. Now
Oh, Anne Hesh. Yeah.
Anne Hesh,
Mm-hmm.
remember how she ended up dying? She freaking flipped out. She went down freaking the street, freaking slamming into everything. Luckily, she didn't run anybody over.
Well, and so did you know the little guy that played the elf on her show? His name was Leslie. Do you remember his whole name, Austin? And during COVID, he was a big deal. He did videos and everybody loved him. I think he was gay, but he was always on Ellen's show and everybody loved him. And he had a heart attack and crashed his car about a year after Anne Hesh died, and they were trying to say Ellen had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Because what was the other one that died? That was her dancer. You know, he was on her show all the time. What was his name? Austin, it's going away from me now, you know?